Alrighty, I am here with Nick, and Nick, I believe, was the one, two, three, four, five, sixth player eliminated. Sorry, I had to go back and look at that. Sixth player eliminated from Ascendance Season 10 Trendsetters. Um, so Nick, let's kind of run through your game real quickly. Opening the game, you did attend the first elimination, but before we go to, I guess, the first elimination, cast as a whole, were you, I know you, I remember going back to, cast reveal, you were like in your prod chat talking about people. Um, would you say overall you, first reactions for the cast reveal, were you happy? Were you sad? What were you thinking?
I was definitely overwhelmed. I feel like a lot of these people I hadn't played with, but I have garnered a reputation for themselves. And the ones that I have played with, I was kind of like nervous to play with again. So I knew definitely going into it, I was up against a lot in terms of like just how well I know some of the players in this game had played in the past and how well they could potentially play in the future. And so I was just a little nervous, I feel.
100%. And you do find yourself here at this first elimination. Your team ends up losing the first round. Um, and it seemed to be pretty clear cut. It was a 10-1 vote for Michael. Was there ever any thought or worry on your end there, or did you feel pretty safe?
Um, I feel like once people started telling me that like Michael wasn't talking to them, I started feeling a little bit better because at that point the trendsetters were telling me that as well. And in my eyes, I thought, what is the point of lying to me when you're safe? Like, I definitely understand lying to me if you're not safe. Like, I get it, but like, if you're safe and it's round one, why would you lie to me? And so I did. It's not that I felt safe. It's just that I felt a little bit more comfortable in the moment than I did prior to being told that.
Absolutely. And then so round two, you were able to get on a team that wins. And then let's talk about this beginning of round three, I think, is where things got a little interesting for you. Um, you were in on this Alex vote 5-2 as the first unanimous vote here. But we see 2 votes for Dre, and the rest 5 votes for Alex. Um, how did that vote, I guess, come together? I believe that was the beginning of a live night. So, um, you,
Um,
so yeah, kind of run through that vote.
I really, really wanted to work with Dre and Jackson. I just was never on the same team with them, and that was the first round, and I think the only round I was ever on a team with both of them. Um, it was really hard because I really wanted to trust them, but I couldn't build that bond with them at all because we were never on the same team. However, I knew that I really wanted to work with them, and I knew that somebody was probably going to throw Dre's name out because he was a returnee. And it just so happened that it was Alex that threw his name out. And so the second he threw it out to me, I went to Dre and was like, hey, just so you know, your name's being thrown out by Alex right now. I'm not voting for you. So what do you want to do? And at that point, Jeremy and Seamus had both told me, like, I'll do whatever you want to do. Like, out of this group, I feel closest to you. So what do you want to do? And I was like, let's just do Alex. And so all 5 of us voted for Alex. Jester tried to flip the vote onto Dre at the last second. It didn't really work. And Alex went home.
Yep, Alex went home and then followed by Shannon, and that kind of concluded the live night. You end up on a team that wins the next round, but you see a close ally of yours, Jeremy, go home in an 8-3 vote, which you were safe at, I believe. No, you were in on that vote, right? You voted for Delaney here, so you were in the minority of this vote. So kind of talk about that, like not ideal, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm. I was super frustrated in the fact that I was being lied to more so than anything because I can take being in the minority. Like, and another thing that bugged me that I was kind of like relieved about was the entire day it sounded like it was going to be either me or Delaney, and nobody ever told me Jeremy's name. And at that point, I kind of knew that I was on the outside and that I was kind of the one that would probably go home soon if I didn't figure something out and make a plan for myself. Um, and so that's what I tried to do. I really did. I tried my hardest to make a plan, and it just didn't work out. Delaney once again was safe, and that was that.
And then, the following round, it's leading up to another live night where you ultimately are eliminated. Um, you know, we see a 5 to 2 to 1 vote here. So I guess leading up to this vote, were you kind of like, okay, my back's up against the wall here, or did you feel like you might have been able to finagle a way to get out of this?
I think the biggest issue with this game, and I feel like the reason I didn't fight as hard is because I didn't think about it ahead of time of like, oh, like I might lose this competition and I might have to be going into an elimination like right away. I should probably make plans with people. But that wasn't the case. I didn't really think that many steps ahead. And by the time the voting was happening, everything was so scrambled and jumbled that I kind of knew that like it would be a very long shot for me to get out of this alive.
Right. So obviously this is taking place. We're now at the final five of the game. Usually I would ask, right after, like, who do you want to see follow you out the door? Who do you want to see go
Actually,
far?
follow me out the door, went out the door after me. I was so happy with that.
Okay, yeah. So talk about that. Talk about why you wanted Jester to follow you out the door.
I just think that the game that Jester played wasn't a respectable one. Like there were a couple people in the game that I wanted to see go before me, and I would have been like at peace with leaving at that point because I really respected a lot of people's games, but there were just some games that I didn't respect. As of this moment in time, everybody playing the game right now, I very much respect their game and I care about all of them so much. I think they're all amazing people, and I'm so proud of all five of them.
So of the five that are left, who would you want to win if you could vote at the end?
Taisha, hands down, Taisha. I think Taisha is one of the most intelligent players I've ever met. She's so tactical, and the fact that like she Taisha's probably had 15 different alliances in this game, and is so good at managing them that I don't feel she's ever going to be in a position until maybe like final four, final three, where she's ever going to be a thought to go home. Um, I think I also like my who I think is gonna win and who I want to win is Taisha, but who like I want to get to the end and win really, really badly is Marcelo. I love Marcelo so much. I think Marcelo deserves this one so badly. Do I think they're gonna let him get to the end? Absolutely not. Um, but yeah, Marcelo. Um, Seamus, I absolutely love and adore, and I would be very happy with him winning. Same with Sam and Zach. I absolutely adore both of them, and I'd be perfectly fine with them winning. Like, I looked at like who was left earlier today, and like saw like the boot orders and everything. I was like, okay, all five of these people are people who I'd feel very comfortable or like very excited for to win. Any combination of a final two of any of them, I'd be very excited for them and very happy for them. And I don't know, I just that it's something that happened really rare for me where I'm like, oh, these are people that like I would be really happy winning.
Nice. So having been out of the game for a week or so, I guess a couple weeks now, you're in this alumni chat with, mainly the people that are active and that are the people that are a part of the pre-jury for your season. Was there any information that, was interesting for you to hear, I guess, coming into it and like reading back with your castmate here?
There was one that really kind of bugged me. Let me see if I can find it. And I wrote like a paragraph and a half on it because it was like really annoying to me. Um, it was a little bit further back. Jester had like said something or something or another, and I was like, that's not the case. That's not what happened. Um, let me see. Or somebody had told Jester something about shit talking, and I was like, that was not the case. I said, you said stuff game wise that wasn't true, and so I said, game wise, you're being shady. Um, and that kind of bugged me because I don't like that whole like, I'm gonna talk shit about people that aren't in the game anymore. Like, I don't get that. I don't get that level or style of gameplay. I think it's kind of ridiculous in the sense of like, I can't even be there to defend myself. So why would you tell somebody this knowing that like I won't even have a chance to correct something if it's false? Um Other than that though, I don't really think anything could have shocked me. The amount of powers that people held on to shocked me for sure. But like a lot of the like both Marcelo had a power because of me. Like I gave him Marcelo had two powers because of me. I gave him both. And so I think that all the other powers kind of shocked me because I didn't realize that like, oh, people who left also could have probably gave other people powers. But I thought it was really cool and interesting.
Yeah, so you ended up give on your way out, you gifted Marcelo a power, and did you publicly gift somebody a power as well?
Hello power as well.
So, right, so you were eliminated and you were able to publicly gift your power. Were you ever thinking about using your power? Kind of talk about your power and like what you thought about it.
So had I have remembered to use my power, I 1,000% would have used it around I went home. Because I was looking at my team and I was just thinking like, oh my god, these are the same exact people that just blindsided me last round. Um, and for whatever reason, my mind didn't comprehend that like these were the same people or like that I like it completely left my mind that I had this power. Like until Papa was like, "Is there anything you want to do after the fact?" and Nicole had to like explain to me, I like had completely forgotten that I had that power, which like is so annoying to me. And like I over it for like 4 days after I got voted out. Definitely a huge stumble on moment in my org career. But it basically allowed me to like switch teams if I felt uncomfortable on a team. And I gave that to Marcelo. And then I think the power that Marcelo got that I like will or gifted to him was the coin that ended up being nothing, sadly. But I wanted to give it to Marcelo because Marcelo is somebody that I feel just lights up a room whenever he's in it, lights up a call whenever he's on it. And I think Marcelo deserves the world. Like, he is such a genuinely true, kind human being. And he's somebody that I wanted to see go really, really far in this game. And I'm so glad he did.
Final five. We'll see tonight if he makes it to final four.
Fingers crossed.
If if everything with your schedule lined up perfectly and Ascendance was casting for another season, potentially returnees, obviously having played, is Ascendance a game that you would want to play again, or are you kind of like this first time around like I'm done after this, like no, not for me?
Yeah, I think I definitely play it again. I've talked to like multiple members of production. This game is definitely a game that I feel like I'd thrive in if I had a little bit more of my bearings on like the social dynamics of it. I I was very confident in the like physical dynamics of the game and the structure of the game and the strategy of the game. I completely like lacked on the social aspect of it and how complex it can be. And I just completely like didn't even think about it. And so I think that now that I've played it, I hopefully, fingers crossed, do a lot better if like I played again. So yeah, I definitely play again.
So, what do you think you would do differently? I know that you mentioned the facets of the game that you felt like you had a good grip on, but the social aspect, what do you think you would do differently if you were to play again?
I think I'd definitely be um I was too social in a public setting where everybody was around, and I was a little less social in one-on-one conversations. And so I'd probably flip that and be a little less social when everybody's around and be more social on a one-on-one basis with people and create those bonds more naturally instead of forcing them in a public setting.
Okay, cool. Um, those are all the questions that I have for you, Nick. Is there anything else that you want to talk about with your experience in Ascendance, or I could stop this interview here.
I just really, really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. I meant what I said at the end of my exit interview, or at the end of my when I got eliminated. Like, I have no hard feelings towards any of the players. I had a lot of fun playing with them, and at the end of the day, it's just a game, and I know that, and I want to win just as much as everybody else wants to win. So I get it. Um, I want to thank Prod because you guys have been absolutely incredible this entire time, and yeah, that's it.